So it's our baritone model. The body's been nearly finished. It's had all the binding and purfling glued on. This needs to be trimmed back now, and it's all going to be final sanded. When that's done, and when the neck's final sanded, we'll work on fitting the body to the neck and making sure that it's adjusted perfectly for pitch and also for alignment to the body. We'll then do one more final sanding again, and we'll mask it up, ready for spraying. This is a Skyland model, and this has been, as you can see, it's had the bridge masking put on. And this has actually been base coated, and the back and sides have been coloured. We add a darker tint to this mahogany, which makes it look a bit nicer. And this is waiting to have the sunburst applied to the top. Now by the time one of our guitars is masked up and it's ready for spraying, we're about halfway through the process. This is how much time we put into the finishing and the final assembly and setup of the instruments. The finishing process basically is this. The guitar is base coated with a urethane base coat, which is air drying and takes 24 hours to cure. We then pore fill the instrument, and that is a UV cured pore filler. After the pore filling is done, we scuff back with a 320 grit paper, and then we spray 3 coats of clear top coat UV cured lacquer. The instrument is then put into the UV curing booth. After it's cured, we have some build, and then we need to flat back. So we'll flat back with 220 grit and then with 320 grit, and then we have a nice flat sealed inert base, and we'll give it 3 more coats of top coat, half an hour apart, and after the final coat we'll wait for 1 further hour and then cure again in the UV booth. And then we can start on the final flatting and polishing, which involves going through various grades of micro abrasive, starting at 30 micron, finishing at 5 micron. And this gives you an almost polished finish, but not quite. So after the 5 micron, we then move over to the buffer, and each guitar is then hand buffed. So once the body and neck are finished with the spraying, they come into the final assembly department in here, and the first thing they have done is they have to be demasked. This one has already been demasked, as you can see, and it's ready for final fitting to the body. Now the body and neck have already been fitted to each other once prior to spraying. During the spraying process, there's always a certain amount of overspray around the neck join there, so we have to remove this and do a final fitting. A finished guitar. Also in here the bridge is glued on. Once the neck is fitted to the body, the frets are dressed, the ends are polished, the nut and saddle are fitted, and basically it's turned into the finished instrument that you see before you. This is myrtle wood, Sitka spruce and cocobolo binding and bridge pins.